How's everybody doing today? It is November 5th, 2020. This article I found is just doing a bunch of research on so many different things. It's like one article leads me to one thing, then it leads me to the next, and then I end up in all these different areas, and I just keep digging into it. And this is from the 13th of October, but you need to read this. I'll read this to you. It says, CV, it says state, county, local group catch quarantine breakers after pre-testing program launches. Yeah, that's right. Catch quarantine breakers. It says Honolulu. It says on Thursday, officials say they expect about 2,000 to 3,000 visitors arrival per day. Visitor arrivals per day. It says while many will be using the pre-travel testing program, some may choose not to do the program or may end up testing positive for CV19, which means they will have quarantine for up to 14 days. It says Honolulu Police Department and investigators with the Attorney General's office continue to enforce the state's emergency order, which includes fining those that break the quarantine. It says the Attorney General's office said in a statement, "We will be maintaining a roughly similar staffing number for now and will be carefully monitoring whether there are significant changes in the enforcement need." That's right, enforcement need. Okay. However, with more visitors expected to come in groups like the Hawaii quarantine kapu breakers say they will also be providing aid. "We have an enormous team of people all ready and waiting to help Hawaii stay safe." See, this is what I'm talking about. See, oh, they're going to go tattle on people that aren't listening. You're not quarantining. You're not wearing a mask. You're not doing this. This is what they want. They're doing everything they can to turn people against each other. Okay? And what's sad is most of the ones that are making these calls truly are just because they are scared because they've been pushed so much fear every single day that this thing is literally a death sentence when we know it's not. That when they do make these calls, they think they're doing it for the betterment of the people, right? Of the health of the people. But we know that's not true, okay? It says, the Hawaii Quarantine Kapu Breakers has about 6,500 members. The group helps law enforcement catch those who refuse to follow the rules and break quarantine. Keene said the new testing program should make it easy for them and officials to find the quarantine violators, okay? Well, here you go, right? This goes back to the article I just showed you about, our new thing on our new in Michigan, Whitmer, where she's threatening 6 months in prison if, any of these, businesses, doesn't matter where it is, if it's a restaurant, bowling alley, tattoo shop, arena, amusement park, arcades, if the people aren't, number one, taking down their information, their name, number, address, etc., or the people aren't giving out that information correctly, both can be fined and placed in jail for up to 6 months in prison, that's how they said it. Okay? And it's just insane. I mean, that's what this has all turned into. It's turned into going and telling on people. Going and turning other people in, your friends, your family. Because they have people so scared of this virus. It's probably going to be easier because if we're going to report on someone, all I have to do is check with my contact with the Attorney General's office, said Keene. If that person's name is on the list and they know that they're going to be watched, there won't be a couple of thousand people in question. There's going to be maybe 100 or so. Says the group will also be looking out for people they are suspecting are breaking quarantine and have tested positive for the virus. In the past, we didn't know quarantine breakers, whether they were negative or positive, said Keene. They were just breaking the law. Now, really, what comes into play is the safety aspect. See? That's what it is. Oh, we're doing it just for safety. This is really bad. This is messed up. It says, those who violate the emergency orders and break quarantine have the option to return home through the Visitor Aloha Society of Hawaii's VASH CV19 Flight Assistance Program, which has already returned 289 visitors, and they expect to return more. In the past 6 months, we have seen a number of visitors come to Hawaii and are not prepared. Okay, she says, so we would not be the least bit surprised if on October 15 there continues to be those number of visitors who do not get tested for CV and secondly have no place to quarantine for 14 days. Rich said that the CV-19 Flight Assistance Program will continue to at least until the end of October for travelers that come to Hawaii unprepared for the pre-travel testing program. Rich said they will help them. I wonder, why is it only till the end of October? Maybe because they know that after November things are going to be insane and then they don't have to do this, that they know it's just going to be so bad everywhere? I don't know. It's a question. Said if they did not test negative or don't plan to quarantine, a lot of the airlines work with us, Rich said. So we're able to get either no change fee or a discounted change fee. So we work with the visitors to do that. Oh, they're so nice, right? They're sending them home because, they won't quarantine or they won't follow the rules, Says, but Keene said the most effective way to prevent emergency order violation is to make sure that travelers are well informed about the rules and the consequences that come if they choose not to follow them. Wow, right? The rules and consequences. Are we in high school? Are we children again? Because I'll tell you what, it sure sounds like it to me. This is the world we live in now. Really, it's important to educate all of the passengers when they're coming in on the airplane, said Keene. That's really going to be key about their behavior and how they behave themselves when they are here on the island. Okay, so after reading that article, I wanted to go and I wanted to look and see if I could find, a few other articles to see how far they were really pushing this. Were they really arresting people? What were they doing? Check this out from the 24th. So remember, that was on the 13th, what I just showed you there. Now check this out. This comes from Hawaii News. It says KPD arrest 14 for CV-19 violations. Arrest. Okay? It says, police arrested 14 individuals for violating Hawaii's 14-day quarantine emergency rules pertaining to CV-19 since the reopening of travel under the Safe Travels platform, which launched October 15th, right? That other article was October 13th. This is what they were talking about. This platform that they're talking about. It says the quarantine requires that all travelers stay in an approved accommodation for 14 days if they do not provide appropriate state-approved negative CV-19 test results from within 72 hours of their departure flight. So think about this, okay? This is what they're telling you. You have to not only have something that's from the state approved. Well, if it's got to be state approved, that means it's going to be only certain things they're going to accept. You have to be in an approved accommodation, so that means you have to go into a quarantine for 14 days into whatever they want you to go into, whether it's a hotel room or it's, a shelter, whatever it is, okay? A detention center, right? Everything seems to be just going higher and higher. We've all talked about FEMA camps for years and years, and I'll tell you what, these detention centers sure are being built everywhere, and they're sure looking like they're getting ready to fill them. That's my opinion. That's it. It says, among those who have been arrested for violating the CV-19 quarantine orders are not only visitors from the mainland, but also residents returning to the island either from the mainland or from another island. It says the majority of the individuals arrested were not at their listed quarantine addresses during routine checks and were subsequently arrested and booked. For some of the individuals, this was not their first violation of the order. All but one of these individuals have been released on bail, and some of the mainland travelers have since returned to their state of origin. It says all individuals who are arrested are subject to up to 1 year in jail and or up to $5,000 in fines. It says our goal is to keep our community safe and healthy. Safe and healthy means now, they say, like it says in the Bible, when they speak of peace and security. Well, what do you think this is, right? This is it. They're showing us, they're telling us, it's just for your own good, it's just for public health. Says we remain very active in enforcing the quarantine law, and we will continue to do so as long as it's necessary. Yeah, that's right. It's been very vulnerable healthcare capacity with very few intensive care unit beds available in our hospitals. We cannot afford an outbreak of this disease on Kauai, says Begley. Really? So on Kauai you can't? Just because they're an island, multiple islands? I get that. It's small, I understand that. But that still doesn't mean you should take people's rights away like this. And this is the part where my jaw dropped. They list the names. Right? You want to talk about public shaming? I've been talking to everybody about this. This is what they're going to do with you and I. These are going to be our names. Replace my name here, your name here. And you know what it's going to say? Won't take the vax. Failed to follow, rules and guidelines. Taking the vax, taking the test, or wearing the mask. Whatever you want to put in that. I'm not going to read their names. I'm not going to say that. You can see them there. It's horrible. You know what I mean? Like, and look at, what else got in the middle of this? The Hawaii National Guard. And they're going to continue to maintain a daily checkpoint at the airport where all travelers are reminded of the quarantine requirements for anyone who has traveled outside of the island. I mean, you got to think of this. This is just, wow, right? Think about this. You can't go anywhere. You can't try to leave. You can't go try. I mean, you just can't do anything because it doesn't really matter right now. They're going to figure out a way. If you don't obey their rules, you're going to be subject to their punishment, just like they said. Right? I mean, look at this. KPD has made 132 arrests to date for violations of the quarantine law. Everyone, this is on, one state, on one island. Think about what it's going to be like in major cities when they're doing this. And look at, this is how they get the people to keep calling on everybody and tattling and doing what they're doing. And we greatly appreciate everyone who continues to take this seriously and who continues to do what's right for our island community. I don't have any answers for this. The only answer that I can think of is get right with God. We're going to leave this right there. We're going to end this just like that because I think that is the only answer now. He is the truth. He is the only way. Find him now. Ask for forgiveness because we need it now more than ever. We'll talk to y'all real soon. God bless.